It's time now for the award-winning #1 local talk show in Northeast Pennsylvania, The Sam Lesante Show. Now here's your host, Sam Lesante.
So, folks, he was the world heavyweight boxing champion. He is on the show. He's been on before. He has an impressive record. Total fights, 69. Wins, 55. And knockouts, 38. He's heavily involved with the Hazleton Area Boxing Club. And it's very interesting, folks. He sparred with Muhammad Ali, who I had the pleasure of meeting a couple times. And he has his lovely daughter on the show again. How you doing, Tim?
How you doing? Again, trying to steal my
don't
show.
have to after the show. I tell you, I'm gonna take you outside and I have to beat you up.
I won't get hit.
Larry Holmes, at least Harry Holmes gave me a glove. You understand me? Okay.
I'm giving you one too.
Will you?
I'm gonna give you
Will
one.
you sign it too?
Oh,
will you have her sign it too?
No, she steal all my everything I tried. She tried to take it all. Look, she's trying to steal my.
I stole your show. She's beautiful. Hey, all kidding aside, you know, we talked about this before, but boxing. I used to watch it every Friday night with my Uncle Roy many years ago, and I'm only 35 years old. That was when I was like maybe 2 years old. But no, really, and always, I enjoyed boxing, okay? Yeah. But let me ask you something. The sport of boxing, all right, because a lot of people say, you know, you're getting out there, sometimes some serious things happen, like Muhammad Ali got hit too many times, taken a head. Yeah. But I don't think he took his medical advice. So tell me about why, boxing is such a good sport.
I think there's all type of discipline involved with boxing. You know, you got guys on the street that, for instance, you have guys on the street, a fight for free, they'll fight for nothing. I think that's stupid. When you can go do organized boxing and get paid for it and help other people, why should you fight on the street, injure yourself? You have to pay somebody. You have to pay a lawyer to get out of trouble. You have to pay a doctor to fix your problem. When you can go and fight in the ring and get paid for doing it. So it's stupid. That's just some of the things that the sky's the limit when it comes to like boxing. Kids, disciplined kids, once you learn how to fight, you won't want to fight. Most of the kids, you won't want to fight because you know how to fight. You know, so that's just some of the things that boxing can help when it comes to youth. You know, women and children, girls and boys.
A little later on in the show, I have Jonathan and Gina Torres, who are going to be training the boxing. But the thing is, what's the mindset? Because, when you're in the boxing ring, your job is to, knock that person out. I mean, so, that's sometimes, that could be injurious. It could be, what's the mindset,
Well, like Tyson wouldn't just render you unconscious and just bite you on the ground and whatever. I'm just.
Is that all acting?
No.
Or is he really that crazy?
He was.
Yeah.
No, he's a good guy.
Yeah.
He's a good guy. But the way he set himself, the way he set himself up to to go into battle. That's the way he wanted to go and kill, and that's how he got himself ready. Muhammad Ali didn't do it that way. He joked, he sold himself.
Yeah.
I didn't do it that way. It's all different ways you can prepare yourself for a fight, and that's up to the individual.
How did you prepare yourself for fights? I mean, because you got an impressive record. I mean, 55 wins. You really had to get psyched up.
Well, I knew that friends, families, and fans were behind me 100%. That was one driving force. I knew that if I trained real hard, that I could reach the top. You train real hard, you can reap the benefits. I didn't want to. Ali was a showman. He did it with fun. And everybody knew that he sold himself. Everybody tried to.
He was a powerful boxer.
Yeah, he was a powerful. Everybody tried to follow his footsteps by being, charismatic and stuff like that. I was nervous in the dressing room. But when I tied my shoes and when I just started getting closer to the fight, all the nervousness went out the door. And I said, I know there's people out there that want to see me win, and they were behind me, and that was the driving force for me.
Okay, so physical condition, knowing your opponent, okay, Let's talk about what kind of training you go through, to be in physical shape for boxing.
Well, like yesterday, we had the Hazleton boxing team out there chopping wood. We was back there chopping wood. That was one of the main things when I came up, chopping wood. And
What's that mean? Why chopping wood?
That builds your breathing. It helps your power when you throw the punches. The longer you chop wood for 45 minutes, you will not get tired. You will not get tired. So that nowadays they got all kind of technology, all
That's
new
what I'm
stuff.
saying.
Yeah.
Couldn't they do the exercising things and machines they have versus chopping wood?
No, that's just added on.
Okay.
That's extra. If you want to chop wood, if you want to chop wood, that's just added on. They have so many
that's
different
an additional
things.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay, so what about the mental part? Okay, and how, if you're in the boxing ring, I know the trainees, you take them to a process. The Hazleton Area Boxing Club, you take it through a process. So you're saying that boxing is a good thing. I mean, it's discipline. You really have to be careful that they wear protective gear so they don't get seriously hurt.
Well, yeah, boxing is a mental thing also. So like if I'm lifting a weight,
Yeah.
and I can't go past here, your mind take you the rest of the way. You be like pushing. So that's very important that mentally you be prepared to go into the ring, and that'll help the outcome of the fight. Really, it's really important that your mind is set right. Now, you saying as far as damaging. I'm so blessed that I had a trainer that taught good defense, and that's probably why I can talk pretty good right now. And there's a lot of my peers, boxing peers, that can't.
That's the thing I'm trying. When do you know when to stop? I mean, because it's good to train and it's good to get physical exercise, etc. But when do you know when to stop that you don't get severe damage?
Well, a lot of guys have to keep feeding their families, and that's one of the drives that keep pushing them. They know they got mouths to feed. Some of them don't know when to quit. They get hit so much they don't know when to quit. Some of them don't even realize they have problems. I can tell when a guy, the beginning stages, by their talk, and sometimes they have a glassy look at you, and you hear something in their voice. I've been around it so long, and as soon as I hear them talk, it'll just hit me right away. I'm like, oh man, he's damaged a little. Yeah, I know.
Okay, so in training these young people, and we're going to talk to a couple after the break.
Yeah.
How do you train them so they don't get into a serious situation and damage?
Well, you don't put them in there before their time's supposed. You don't just put a guy in, he come in 1 week. You gotta wait. Nowadays, if you watch fights, you don't see guys blocking punches. I had a good defensive trainer. He was an all-around trainer, but taught me defense, and thank God. Thank that he did that, because now I'm looking back and saying, wow, I can imagine what had happened to this guy if he keep getting hit every day, for all these years. So I was fortunate where there's a lot of guys that didn't have a trainer that can do that. So I bring to the table defense, because I got my overhand right, so don't get close to me.
You want to get a shot in the left hand? The development of the discipline, I think, is every sport. I'm not really into sports a lot, as Ron Marchetti will attest to, and Freddie Barletta Jr. But I always like to see a development. I like to see young people or get involved so they grow, okay, and they learn something from that, okay. And does boxing do that?
Yes, but
What have you learned from boxing?
I learned.
May I ask, how old are you?
25.
25.
No.
I could figure out.
I'll be 58 in December. I'll be 58 in December.
And when did you stop boxing?
I started late. I started 20, 21, where a lot of my peers, boxing peers, they started and they was like 8, 9, 10. I had a good teacher, and that really made a difference. If I talk to a young man today and he's 20 and he's 25 or 26 or 24, I would recommend him not to start boxing unless he has a good trainer.
Okay.
Where a lot of these kids don't know, they'll get in there and think this guy, you know, and they get in there, then what? Brain damage near the end. So
that's the problem. I mean,
Yeah.
but what you're training and what the Hazleton Area Boxing Club is,
Yeah.
it's an opportunity for young people to get involved, okay, to develop, you know, character.
Yes.
Could I say?
Yes.
And strong with a discipline in order
Yes.
to live in society and to do things.
Yes.
Okay. If you wouldn't have gone into boxing, what do you think you would have done?
Oh God, I was a tight end. I played football. When I was little, I had a lot of mentors around me. I had a guy that was always make sure we didn't do nothing wrong, took us to church and everything. I had a Jewish friend that used to take me out in the suburbs. There was several people in my life. My father was in, but he wasn't in my life. But I had a lot of mentors, and that's what kids need. Older guys telling them this is right, that's wrong, and just to get on the way. And some of them still don't take heed. They just go do bad things. But I was a chicken. I didn't want to go do bad things. I was scary.
And yet you were powerful in the ring. So Tim,
Yeah.
you brought a point up there. How important was your faith? You know, when you were, you know, even today, how important is your faith?
It set the pace. It set me in the right direction because the people that was instilling the faith in me were good people. You talk about going to church and
Yes,
all that.
yes.
Yeah. They were always on top of me, and I know he figured he passed away. This guy named was Tommy Wade, and he worked at NBC as a printer. And he would come. He was from Philly, but he moved to New York. He would come to Philly and make sure. It was like 5 or 6 of us, and they called us the Mighty Crusaders. We was little, and we played baseball, and we played football, and he was grooming us to be professional sportsmen. And there was a lot of kids in the neighborhood jealous. When I look back, I'm saying, wow, these kids could have been, but he couldn't handle all the kids. So he handled maybe about 5 or 6 of us, and every week he would come in, we're going to play sports, we're going to do this. And if you would cuss words or anything, no, if my father wasn't around, that was my other father. Mm-hmm. It took like 6 or 7 of us, and he set the pace for us. And then there were other guys, came like the Jewish guy, and there was this other guy. They kept it in there.
You surrounded yourself with people that were, you know.
No, they surrounded us.
They surrounded you.
Yeah.
So they surrounded you and
Yeah.
taught you what character was, development was, and how important church was in your life and the faith is in your life, no matter what the
Well,
faith
there wasn't
may
a lot of opportunities for guys of black kids. Mm-hmm. There wasn't a lot of opportunities. I was born in '57. There was a lot of stuff going on up until that, and these guys were contributing. They were helping. I was one of me and my brothers were some of the kids that made it through that crack. Where there's a lot of them, they became gangsters, fighters, and
you were very fortunate. Weren't you?
Yeah.
Folks, I'm talking to Tim Witherspoon, a former world heavyweight champion, boxing champion. A couple things happening, folks, that you really would like to get involved with. The Hazleton Area Boxing Club on July 18th, Night at the Fights. And Jim Clement, who is the president, will talk about that event. Also, the bowling event, the golfing event. The first annual golf tournament. It'll be August 2nd. And if you'd like to get involved, you can call this number, 570-401-6409. And now, come after the break, we're going to bring on 2 trainees. I want to ask them why they decided to go into boxing. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. Remember, 24/7, you can watch all of our locally produced shows in HD. Yes, folks, in HD on ssptv.com. My email, sam@ssptv.com. My guest today is world heavyweight boxing champion Tim Witherspoon, along with some brethren guests. But a few things I want to remind you of. July 18th, excellent event that's happening. Night at the Fights. Jim Clement, who is the president of the Hazleton Area Boxing Club, will tell you what's happening that day. It's at the Hazleton YMCA. And then, of course, their tournament at Edgewood in the Pines on August the 2nd, and he'll fill you in on that as well. So I'm glad to have on the set Jonathan Torres and Gina Torres. Am I saying that that's correct? Yeah. So now we talk to the champion here, who after the show, I'm taking him outside and beating him up with my glove. Why, let me talk with you, Gina. Female, okay, of course. Why did you decide to you want to learn how to box?
Well, ever since I started going to his events, I really got interested in watching him, and I liked it how he was boxing, and I follow his steps.
Do you know all the things that are involved with boxing? You have to train, and
Yeah.
there's an opportunity that you think you may get hurt, or
No.
yeah. What you said you watched him. What do you mean when you?
Well, the way the way they train him, and what he does every day.
Do you do any sports now?
No, not at the moment.
Okay. So you decided to go into boxing.
Yeah.
Okay, that's interesting. Okay, now you and Jonathan are married, right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, for over a year, you said,
Yeah.
a year and a half. Well, I wish you the best. Okay, Jonathan, here again. Why did are you both starting together, or are you already training?
No, I'm already training.
So, okay, why did you start training?
I didn't get the opportunity to train in New York. So when I got out here, these people do know how to train, and they can train. And I like how they train, so I decided to box. I was always into it, but I never got a chance in the Bronx.
So when you say you were always into it, is it you wanted to box, or you wanted to beat people up?
No, I always wanted to box.
Yeah.
I was fought in the Bronx, but not the right way.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what Tim is saying. You got to learn the right way. So, what do you think what have you learned from this sport so far?
I learned that, if you want to be good, you got to train good. You got to have good trainers as well.
What is your goal? Is your goal to get into a ring and beat a person up? Or
My goal is to get a championship.
Is
My
that
goal
right?
is to go as far as they could take me.
Okay, so when you're in the ring, okay, and you're training, now that other person, okay, what you have to knock that person out. That doesn't mean that you hate that person, right?
Correct.
It's just a sport. And how does that work with you?
It's a sport. I mean, it's better off doing it in a ring than outside in the streets.
Which is great. Now, respect for your fellow boxers, okay, that comes with the training? I mean, knowing
Yes.
everyone trains together?
Yes.
Okay, and so you saw your husband, Gina, excuse me, boxing, and I hope that the both of you don't go home and box each other, okay? Because he better watch out after Tim gets in training. Don't mess with me, because buddy, you're going to be out, okay? And I think you can knock him out. I really do. I think you got that opportunity. But you're really excited about training with and I think it's a good opportunity. Hazleton Area Boxing Club doing this, okay? You're really excited about that, right?
Yes, I am.
Yeah. And what do you think you're going to get out of this in boxing?
Well, I never did this before, but I think I'm gonna do a lot better. Yeah.
Because awfully fast, people get into football, baseball, etc., golf or tennis or whatever, and there's the development. Are you developing any character from this? Are you learning anything about people? Are you learning anything that would help society out a little bit, Gina?
Yes, a lot.
Yeah. What do you learn?
Well, about the boxing, stay out of the streets, stay out of trouble, and it helps a lot of young people like me.
How about you, Jonathan?
Yeah, it keeps people off the streets, and it's a good organization.
Yeah. We have a lot of great things in the greater Hazleton area. One is the Hazleton Area Boxing Club, of course, HIP, where you guys are at right now. And sometimes people, as you said, the very first time I saw a black person, I think I told you this, and when I was 12 years old, and
I remember that, yeah.
And I was scared, okay, because of I don't know why I was, but I mean, you were scared, okay, and so people start putting tags, which is, it's the prejudice thing. Hey, Italians came over here. We got really slammed. Okay,
Yeah,
they wouldn't let
yeah.
us into banks. I remember my
Yeah.
grandfather was thrown out of a bank because he couldn't speak Italian. Okay,
Yeah.
I mean, so we.
Yeah.
But I think it's a good development. I think this is good. You're shaking your head. Yes, Gene. Do you agree with me on that? I think it's a great thing, training the right way, getting off the streets, respecting people. That's a development character. I think it's great. I wish the both of you.
Thank you.
And remember, Gina, You're going to train how to box. Jonathan gets out of hand. Say, come over here. Bada bing. A couple of shots. Okay.
Bada bing.
Bada bing. Okay. Well, thanks for coming on. I just wanted to get another aspect from boxing training and with our good friend Tim. You know how why he's so good? You know who trained him? You know who gave him some tips? We'll be back right after this with Jim Clement, folks, talking about the Hazleton Area Boxing Club. Great event, July 18th. Night at the fights, and he'll tell you about the great people going to be there. And then don't forget the golf tournament. I'm going to try to make that August 2nd. I have to check my calendar. And phone number 570-401-6409 or 570-401-1104. We'll be back with Jim Clement, who is the president of the Hazleton Area Boxing Club, along with our champion and our special guest, Janaya. Right? We'll be back right after this. Welcome back to the Sam Lesante Show, folks. My guest today, Tim Witherspoon, world boxing champion, world heavyweight champion, who is on the show along with, we had some trainees on the boxing, learning how to box. Hazleton Area Boxing Club has been doing a lot in this area. And joining me now, along with Tim and his lovely little daughter, is Jim Clement. Jim, how are you?
I'm doing fine.
That's good. Fine. How's the family?
Good. Everybody's good, thank God.
Yep. That's about it. Grandchildren all over the place. I love it. See, having grandchildren, you send them back home, Jim.
Yeah, right.
You spoil them.
But sometimes they don't go home.
They stick around. Jim, you've been involved. You're president of Hazleton Area Boxing Club. What is the club about?
Well, the main purpose was keeping kids off the street. And I mean, hopefully there's some fighters out there who continue on in the fight game, but the real purpose was keeping the kids off the street, keeping them out of gangs, trying to stay in school, and that was the purpose, and mentors for them to come and talk to, and so on and so forth, which after about 9 months, it's been working pretty good. I mean, it's...
Well, I applaud you and your partner there. I mean... Tony, I'm sorry, I forgot your name, Tony. See what happens when you hit 40 years old, you start losing things. What are you laughing about? Remember, I got the glove. No, really get involved in helping, the kids, as we said, today, as you know, the way the world is.
Right.
And you've seen it developing pretty good, right?
Right, yeah, very good response.
To get involved with the, if there's, so maybe parents want to know what this is all about, okay, before they have their children get involved. The phone number that I'm giving here, are these the numbers that you would...
Yeah, that one's for the golf tournament, but the Hazleton Area Boxing Club is 570-926-0485.
Okay, so 0485. 926-0485 if someone wants to be interested, okay. Let's talk about a couple events. We got a couple minutes left.
Right.
Night at the fights, who's going to be there?
Well, Tim Witherspoon, the next ex-heavyweight champ of the world, Al Ice Cole, and Monty Barrett, they all have great reputations as fighters. I mean, they're all been around and they got a great following.
This is July 18th at the YMCA.
At the YMCA.
Let me tell you, the price is extremely reasonable. Oh my God, this price is really reasonable. And I bet it's going to be a lot of fun.
We're counting on it. We're hoping. I mean, we got some of the best amateur fighters in the Mid-Atlantic coming up. They're coming from Harrisburg, Bethlehem, Allentown, Scranton.
Wow. So you're going to have a big night.
Big night.
Now, then you have the golf tournament, right, on August 2nd?
August 2nd at Edgewood in the Pines.
And here again, this is all a matter of raising money.
Raising money. We're a nonprofit group, and we're always out looking for money. That's the name of the game.
Yeah.
It's, but, thank God we have some good people supporting, and we're trying our best. We're keeping the ball going.
Well, once again, Jim, I applaud you and Tony for doing what you're doing, because it's really needed these days. You just saw two beautiful people on the show, Jonathan and Gina. They're married, and here they're saying, look, I want to offer something to society. You want to be right, Tim?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I think it makes you feel good working with these kids, huh, Tim?
Yeah, giving back like somebody gave me. Like I told you, there was a guy in our lives, and he just walked in and brightened things up. Mm-hmm. So we got to give back. And hopefully it'll help a lot of people.
So you're going to be in action July 18th, huh? We're going to see you in the ring?
No. I told you, me and you need to do a charity.
Well, if we're going to do it, okay? But I don't want to embarrass you.
Have Don King sanction it.
I mean, if I get in the ring with you and then I knock you out, then Jim's going to be upset, Tony's going to be upset.
Right.
Why'd you knock the world heavyweight champion out, okay?
Well, as long as I got insurance,
you're in
let's
good
don't
shape.
worry about it.
I want to thank you, Tim, for coming on the show, and
Thank
your
you.
beautiful daughter.
Thank you. Thank
It's
you.
always a pleasure.
Shania.
Jim,
Thank you,
thanks a
Sam.
lot. Tony,
Thank
thanks. Jonathan and Gina, thanks for coming on the show. Folks, it's a great cause. You're trying to help kids, trying to help to take them off the streets, let them know what respect's all about, character's all about, which is so important today. July 18th, be there at the Hazleton Y, 5 p.m. to 9 p.m. Give them a call. New number, 570-926-0485. And then go golfing August the 2nd at Edgewood and the Pines, their first annual golf tournament. We'll see you next time.